What is up? I assume that you clicked on this video because you wanted to know if the power amp of an amp actually makes a difference in how a distortion pedal sounds. I've wanted this for a while, and to my ears, it does make a difference, but I've never done like an A and B test. So we're gonna do that today. We're getting kind of scientific, not strictly scientific, but what we're gonna be doing is testing out the Furia distortion pedal from Fuzz Imp in a few different ways. The first test I'm going to do is my guitar direct into the Furia, which is then going direct into my audio interface, and then using an impulse response loading plugin. That plugin is going to be the Getgood Drum Studio Cabs Contenders Round 1. You can see up on the screen right now I'm using an SM57 on a Marshall cab and an SM7B on the EVH cab. It's a very simple IR setup that I have and it sounds very good. And we're gonna play the same exact riff through each of these setups. So like I said, first up is straight up through the pedal into an impulse response plugin. No amp in the loop whatsoever. Then I'm gonna switch everything up and plug the Furia into the clean channel of the Peavey Invective, play the same riff, then go into the clean channel of the REVV G20, play the same riff. Then we're going to take it one step further and bypass the preamp in these amplifiers and go straight for the power amp by sending this into just the return of the effects loop of both of these amps. And we'll test them back and forth again. I will be recording everything using OBS, but then at the end I'll also do a straight up A and B because I'll be recording inside of Logic as well so that I can test this out between them. And we can see if there's a big enough difference to care, and if there is, which one we like more. So as we go through this, please let me know down in the comments which one of these tones you end up liking more. Do you like it with or without the power amp or the preamp of the amps that we're gonna go through, or do you like it just by itself? But enough of all that talk, let's go ahead and jump in and play some riffs. All right, so here is just my guitar's DI tone with the Getgood Drums Impulse Response Loader plugin. I'm keeping things very simple for this test. I'm not trying to do anything technical here. I want to hear the gain and saturation and how it sounds through the different power amps on here, and preamps for that matter. So let's go ahead and click on the Furia. Just to note as well, this guitar is coil tapped, so I'm on the split coil setting on my bridge pickup. All right, so that was our control. That's what the Furia sounds like by itself into the interface and into an impulse response loading plugin. Again, there's no post-processing, no EQ, not even a noise gate going on here. That is all that's running through here. And for reference, I'll put it up on screen here as well, but we have the loud setting at about 3/4 of the way, same with the gain. Blend is all the way set to where we're just hearing the pedal, no clean DI. The highs are at 3/4 and then bass is about halfway up. The built-in gate on the distortion pedal is off, and so is the sculpt toggle as well. All right, hang out just a second. I've got to go plug everything else in so we can start hearing the amps now. Just one other quick note here. I will be having to level match these in post. I'm not going to EQ or compress or anything like that. I'm just going to bring the levels down because once I switch over to the amps themselves, they are quite a bit louder than the pedal itself going into the audio interface. So I will be having to pull their volume down because they're registering at like -3 dB in Logic Pro, whereas the pedal itself was registering at like -10. So it's a pretty vast difference in volume level. But let's go ahead and hear just the clean channel of the Peavey, no pedal on yet. All right, enough of that. Let's go ahead and turn on the pedal. All right, so that was the clean channel. Now let's go ahead and plug it into the effects loop. Remember, we're going into just the return of the effects loop. So what that does is we're bypassing the preamp of the amp entirely. So now the Peavey's preamp is turned off. We're only taking advantage of the power amp itself, and we'll hear what that sounds like. All right, what do you think so far? Which one of those three sounded better? Again, at the end of the video, we're going to do a test that lets you hear all of these different tones back to back to back so you can really take a good gander for yourself. But so far, I think I prefer the clean channel of the Invective over the standalone or in the effects loop, so bypassing the preamp. I think the clean channel sounded best, but my own ears could be being fooled because that was so much louder and my ears can't unhear that. So even I will have to wait till the end of this video when I'm doing the editing to actually properly hear these back and forth. So now what I need to do is unplug the Invective completely and plug in the Rev, and we're gonna do the same tests. There's something honestly pretty cool about doing these kind of tests. I don't know why I like doing these. I'm a nerd when it comes to guitar tones, as anybody who follows me well knows at this point, because that's a lot of what I do on here is make guitar tone tests. Because it's simply too much fun. What's the point of having all this gear if we're not testing it, you know? Like, what's the point? All right, Rev is on now. So with the Rev all set up, let's go ahead and hear just the clean tone from the Rev itself. Pedal is turned off. Wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't screw something up when I'm playing, right? So let's go ahead and hear it with the pedal now. Well, I'm definitely noticing one big difference there in that the clarity of the G20's clean channel is coming through with the pedal on. I think I might like that one more. It's definitely a different characteristic. It's more high pitched, and I have the highs cranked on both of the amps. So that's not really the defining factor there, but we'll see with the power amp section as well how this sounds. All right, so now that we are in the return of the effects loop of the Rev G20 again, that means we are bypassing the preamp and the amp, and so the pedal is controlling all of the tone here except for the power stage of the amp itself and then the impulse response, obviously. So let's do the final test. All right, we can turn off the amp. It's really hot in my apartment today because we're having a little bit of a heat wave here in the Bay Area, and there's no such thing as air conditioner out here, and I have to close all the windows to make sure I can film these videos with decent audio. Yeah, it's hot in here. All right, now that we've got the test done, Rev is turned off. Let's go ahead and jump into Logic Pro. You should see it up on screen at this point. So these are the 5 different tracks that we recorded. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chop all of these up real quick, so that way it automatically switches between each of them as we play back that full riff there. But I'm not gonna make you watch that part. This is the movie magic part, you know? All right, we are ready for the first playthrough of these real quick. And the way that I did it is I just did it sequentially as the riff goes, and then afterwards I'm going to play just the beginning parts. I'm gonna have to do some more cutting again, and I'll just drag and drop them at that point. But let me know, again, which one sounds best to you? Do you think that this made a big enough difference for you to care? We're going in a little bit different order than we recorded them in. So we have the standalone pedal by itself first, and then we're gonna do both of the clean channels, and then we'll do just the power amp of each of them. And we'll do that the same way when I play it through the second time. So let's take a listen. Let me know which one sounds best to you though. All right, now we gotta chop them back up again because I want you to hear just the first section of it. All right, and remember, this is just the first part of the riff now. We just wanna hear it back to back to back to back. Let's take another listen. All right, so what's your verdict? Which one sounded better? To my ears, I still like the Invective's clean channel more. It's just beefier. I don't know what it is about it, it's beefier. The Rev clean channel sounded more articulate, but that's not what I was going for with this kind of distortion like tone, so it's not really what I wanted. The Invective just seems to be saturating it a little bit more, and I don't know if that's actually what's going on here. Any of my amp gurus out there, please let me know if I'm just missing the mark or if there's a different way that I should have done this test, because I'm 100% down to keep doing these tests. These are just too much fun. But yeah, if you like this kind of test, let me know down in the comments below what I should test next. This is too much fun. I love doing this kind of stuff. But yeah, that's it for today. Until next time, peace and love, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye now.